So for the back of this first random Visa statement, I want to just kind of talk to you about what I figured out and see if it matches what you came up with. The first thing I saw is that the 7.990% and the 7.99% are the same rate. And this 0 is telling you that they're not actually adding on a digit that they aren't telling you about. And some credit card companies I've heard, I have never seen it, but I've heard that what they might do is tell you that the annual percentage rate is 7.99 and they can actually get away with putting 7.994%, and that's actually 0.004% more than they're advertising, and so it makes it seem like they're doing a good rate and they're just slightly higher than that rate. Well, this credit card is saying no, we don't do that. It's actually 7.990. So that's where this corresponding annual rate comes from. Now, the next thing I want to do is figure out how are they getting the daily periodic rate. And we kind of talked about that a little bit before, and I said if you're doing a daily periodic rate, you have to take the annual rate and divide it into proportions or chunks for each day of the year. And we have 365 days in a year, so I can take that 7.99% and divide it by 365. And now remember, this is still in percent form because I didn't do a divide by 100 before I did my calculations, so my answer is still in percent form, and it's 0.02189, and here we have 0.021, and it was 8 on my calculator, 9, but that 9 would have made me bump it up. So if I was rounding to this spot where the 8 is, I would have to bump it up anyway to 0.0219. So this value came from the 7.99% divided by 365. That's nice. Now let's check if that works on the cash advance, because that one has a 19.99%. And I want to divide by 365 days in a year, and I get 0.0547. Remember, they're going to round it, so it'd be 0.058. 0.0548. Can't read. 0.0548%. And so that is perfect because it follows the same rule. It's 19.99% divided by 365. So we're taking the rate divided by the number of days that we're calculating for. And if it was monthly, I might do it a little bit different too. Okay, so since it's a daily periodic rate, we're dividing by the number of days in a year. All right, last thing, I want to try to figure out this $35.74. So if I look at the average daily balance and then I multiply by that daily periodic rate, let's try that. And what do we get? So it's 5441.96. I want to multiply by, I have to change it to a decimal, so 2 more zeros, 0.000219, and I get $1.19. This is way more than $1.19. But there's one thing missing. Remember, it's interest equals principal times rate, which I just did, but times time as well. So you have to figure out how many days we're calculating this interest for. So the number of days per month, it could be 30 or 31. So we can try that. Let's take times 30. And that gives me 35.75. So that's going to be this interest rate is the average daily balance times the daily rate times 30. And we're a penny off, but that's okay. They might have something just slightly different that they're doing, but we're very, very close. Okay, Next thing, I want to see if that holds true for the cash advance. So for this one, we would want to do the same thing, average daily times daily rate times 30, because it's the same credit card. They're probably doing it the same way. So 4551.08 times, and I have to do 0.000548 times, we decided on 30, equals, so I get 74.82 if I round, 74.44. I'm a little off. Let's try it again. 4551.08 times 0.000548 times 30, 74.81. And we're very close on that. Let's try it one more time. It shouldn't be with 31 because that would make it a little bit bigger. I wonder if it is 29. I guess we could try that. Let's try that. 4551.08 times 0.000548 times 29. It's way lower. So again, we're very close, not exact, but very close in doing the average daily times the daily rate times 30. So when I want to go ahead and calculate, I'm using the average daily balance for the principal, the daily periodic rate for the rate, but I'm going to recalculate it because the credit card company is keeping all the digits and we want to do that too. And then I will use 30 for the time, but I also have to make sure that even when I divide this out, that I also divide by 100 to convert it to a decimal form. Remember, we always want to use decimal form in our formulas. Okay, so start at the beginning. 7.99 divided by 365, that converts it into a daily periodic rate, and then divide by 100, that converts it into a decimal form of the daily periodic rate. And then I can multiply by my p, so times the 5441.96, and then I can multiply by that t as well, and the t was 30, so times 30 equals, and there I get 35.738, so 35.74. So I nailed that one right on the head. Now you go ahead and try that last one. So for this last one, I want to figure out that daily periodic rate again. So for this one, it's 19.99 divided by 365, and that gives me the daily periodic rate that matches what they have showing here, and then divide by 100 to put it in decimal form, and then multiply by the principal, so 4551.08, and then multiply by 30 for the time, 30 days, and we get 74.77. And that's a little higher than what they're showing, but it's in the right ballpark.